Greetings and salutations, my fellow Americans. I am Robert Vincent Brannum. I am a retired veteran. My fellow Americans, the 12 Days of Christmas, also known as Twelvetide, is a festive Christian season celebrating the Nativity of Jesus. The 12 days are December 25th to January 5th. Kwanzaa is a 7-day festival held annually from December 26th to January 1st, celebrating African and African American culture and history. My fellow Americans, from their own words through their social media posts, Donald Trump and MAGA social media are haters of peace, joy, and happiness, regardless of season. Donald Trump and his MAGA social media supporters have called for Americans to, quote, rot in hell, end quote. At the start of this Christmas and Kwanzaa seasons, Donald Trump and his extreme far right-wing MAGA family project anger, violence, and hostility. The social media postings by Donald Trump and MAGA Republicans continue their political pattern of espousing lies, racism, sexism, anti-Semitism, Islamophobia, violence, vulgarity, attacks on gays, lesbians, transgender Americans, and immigrants. This is ironic because Donald Trump's father and 2 of his 3 wives are immigrants. It has been written, quote, immigration is the foundation of America. No other nation has a large an immigration population as does the United States. With the important exception of those descended from native peoples and or enslaved Africans, few people in this country cannot trace at least part of their ancestry to an immigrant, either recently or centuries ago, end quote. Donald Trump and MAGA Republicans support immigration, but only immigrants from European countries. What would America look like if every American returned to their ancestral native land? To rephrase a popular idiom, Donald Trump and MAGA Republicans have found their enemies, and they are black and brown peoples, immigrants, women, gays, lesbians, transgender, young people, union workers, all non-MAGA evangelical Christians, Muslims, and others. Moreover, in the face of a booming American economy, Donald Trump and MAGA media continue to present a false and misleading narrative about President Joe Biden's progressive legislative economic accomplishments. To tell the truth is to shame Donald Trump, Nikki Haley, Ron DeSantis, Chris Christie, Vivek Ramaswamy, Speaker Mike Johnson, Elise Stefanik, Byron Donalds, Marjorie Taylor Greene, Jim Jordan, James Comer, MAGA Media, Fox News, One America News, Newsmax, The Washington Times, The Washington Examiner, other MAGA Republicans, and MAGA social media. At no time during the heightened social media threats and pro-violence campaign comments by Donald Trump have MAGA media, MAGA social media, or MAGA Republicans asked Donald Trump to cease and desist. Rather, they have promoted them with their social media middle finger. To paraphrase Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King, quote, it may well be some MAGA Republicans we will have to repent in this 2024 presidential election season, not merely for the vitriolic words and the violent actions of Donald Trump, but for the appalling silence and indifference of the good people who sit around and say, wait on time. And somewhere along the way, it is necessary to see that human progress never rolls in on the wheels of inevitability. It comes through the tireless efforts and the persistent work of dedicated individuals who are willing to be co-workers with God. And without this hard work, time itself becomes an ally of the destructive politics and legal strategy of Donald Trump and MAGA Republicans. My fellow Americans, do not sleepwalk into an American dictatorship. It is illogical to support a Donald Trump presidential dictatorship but oppose a Joe Biden presidency. My fellow Americans, President Joe Biden and Vice President Kamala Harris be none of Donald Trump and MAGA Republicans' lies, racism, bigotry, and other acts in support of violence can live forever. My fellow Americans, do not forget or ignore the plans of dictator-in-waiting Donald Trump. If you don't know you're in a fight, you won't have the victory. Donald Trump and MAGA Republicans can and will use many things to get their feet into your lives. Donald Trump and MAGA Republicans will use lies, fear, doubt, anxiety, ideas of white supremacy, racism, bigotry, anti-Semitism, Islamophobia, sexism, the bashing of gays, lesbians, transgender Americans, and immigrants. But God has already delivered us from all of the attacks by Donald Trump and MAGA Republicans. You don't have to live in fear, rely on conspiracy theories, believe their lies, and support their rhetoric of violence on social media. Jesus took the victory and gave it to us. America, President Joe Biden and Vice President Kamala Harris believe in the Constitution, democracy, equality, fairness, justice, and truth. President Biden and Vice President Harris believe in you and in the hope of America's future. Thank you.